Shalom, everybody. We're going to do a quick video here on how to wrap tefillin because the men of Lapid Judaism have asked recently, how are we supposed to wrap? Because there are different ways to wrap tefillin throughout Judaism, different ways, different styles, different formats. How do we at Lapid Judaism, how do the men wrap tefillin? Some have asked, Rabbi, how do you wrap so that we can kind of follow suit? The way that we wrap really is the Ashkenazi method, and I'm going to demonstrate that here. We're not going to get into all the halacha of tefillin, but we're going to just look at the actual wrapping method. Now, when you wrap tefillin in the morning, you're going to first have your talit gadol on. But again, I wanted to be able to show you how to wrap tefillin without having to manage the talit, but just know that you're going to have that on first. There is a meditation in the Siddur before you even put the tefillin on, and I recommend that you pray that meditation. It's in your Siddur. And then we're going to go right to the tefillin wrapping, and of course we're going to begin with the arm tefillin, the tefillin shel yad. So in the tefillin bag that you have, there's going to be two boxes that have the tefillin in it. One says the tefillin shel rosh, and the other says the tefillin shel yad, or the hand tefillin. So we're going to take these out so I don't mismanage them here. Put that right there. Take this out. Now the tefillin, both the hand tefillin and the head tefillin should touch your body. And so as a result, you're going to make sure you roll up your sleeves. Naturally, if you have a short sleeve, obviously that's great. Now, if you're right-handed, you're going to put the tefillin on your left hand. If you're left-handed, you're going to do the opposite of that. The tefillin is going to go on your right arm. So we're going to demonstrate putting on the arm tefillin. So this is the order of putting on tefillin. So you first take the tefillin shel yad, and you're going to, if you can, it's best to make sure the strap doesn't touch the ground if that's possible. So we're going to do that there. You're going to lift up your sleeve and expose your bicep. And you're going to take the tefillin and you're going to put it so that it kind of sits right on your bicep. Now, sometimes tefillin will have the loop on this side, sometime on the opposite side, but the wrapping is going to be the same. And you can, depending on where your loop is, doesn't really matter so long as you wrap the same. So once you have the tefillin on your arm, normally you would say the baraka at this point. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu lehaniach tefillin. You would say that baraka, and then you would begin to wrap. Now, when you're wrapping tefillin, it's forbidden to talk to anybody or anything like that. I'm talking now because we're doing this for demonstration. But if you were wrapping tefillin and somebody would try to talk to you, then you're not allowed to answer them. So you put the tefillin on and you begin to wrap around the arm, and you wrap 7 times around the arm. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When you get to this point, you just simply take the remainder and you wrap it around the hand, because you're going to come back to that. You can make a slight adjustment. It should be pretty tight on the arm, but you can move it a little bit. At this point, you're going to take the head tefillin. I want to point something out here before I do that. In most tefillin boxes for the tefillin shel yad, there is a mirror inside. The purpose of the mirror is so that you can use it to make sure your tefillin is in the right place. Okay? So we're going to take the head tefillin, and we're going to remove it from its box. We're going to notice that the head tefillin has a sheen on it. A sheen here, a 3-branch sheen, and then there's a 4-branch sheen on the other side. This is going to become important because you're going to have ultimately the sheen on your forehead, and then you're going to have the sheen on your hand. So you're going to have the mark of God on your forehead and the mark of God on your hand. So in order to put on the tefillin, to do it properly, you have to temporarily remove your kippah, because everything about the tefillin needs to touch your head. So we're going to remove my kippah, put the tefillin on, put the kippah back, make sure the straps kind of come around your head. The tefillin is going to be between your eyes. Again, I'm going to use my mirror here to make sure that I have it between my eyes. It's going to be on top of the head here. where the hairline is, or in my case, where the hairline used to be. Okay, so it's there. That's coming down. That's why you have the mirror. The straps should come down, and the shiny part of the strap facing out, and the dull part of the strap facing in. And this is the proper way to put on tefillin. Here, there's another bracha when you put the tefillin on your head. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu al mitzvah tefillin. And then you would bow and you say, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchutu Le'olam Va'ed. After here, there's another meditation prayer that you say, but we won't get into that here. That's also in your Siddur. Now, from here is where you get slightly complicated, because now it's time to wrap the tefillin around the hand. So what you do is we started out wrapping the tefillin, and then we put the excess around our hand, and then we put the head tefillin on. So now you unwrap that excess. When you finish wrapping the 7 around the forearm, you're going to come around the back of the hand here. You're going to wrap around the finger 3 times, 1, 2, and then 3. Then you're going to come under your ring finger, back across your knuckles, and then you're going to just come through the middle and finish the remainder around your hand, whatever you have left, tucking it in to the palm. Okay? There we go. Tucking that into the palm like this and kind of cinching it down. And now what you've created is a sheen on your hand. So now you have the sheen on the forehead and the sheen on the hand, and now you have wrapped the tefillin and you're ready to daven, you're ready to pray. Now after you pray, after you've davened all the blessings, you finish with the Amidah and so forth, now it's time to remove the tefillin. Now I will say one other thing, and as I said, you want the shiny part of the tefillin straps to point outward. It's not necessarily, sometimes it's going to be natural that they flip over like this because it's just the way it is. Some people, because they're particular, they will actually tuck these into their belt, and so the belt holds it down. I've actually seen that happen. I don't typically do that necessarily, but it can be done in case you wanted to know. Now, I also want to mention before I take this off that tefillin can be wrapped any time of daylight. Typically it's done in the morning, but it can be done any time there is daytime. It's light outside. So sometimes men can't wrap tefillin for one reason or another. There's all kinds of reasons why that may be the case. They're not able to do it in the morning. The question is, if I wasn't able to do it in the morning, is it still halakhically okay for me to do it in the afternoon? The answer is yes, you can. So you can come back in the afternoon before the sun sets, and you can wrap tefillin. You could wrap tefillin for Minka as an example. So wanted to mention that as well. So now we take the tefillin off, and again, when you have tefillin on, you want to make sure that you maintain your sanctity. If you have tefillin on and you're praying and you need to utilize the facilities, you need to make sure that you take the tefillin off, put it down in a respectful place, go take care of your business. When you come back, you put the tefillin on without the blessing, because you've already said the blessing, okay? That's an important point. So now that it's time to take the tefillin off, you're going to take the tefillin off in the reverse order. You begin first by unraveling the tefillin from your hand. So you remove this from the hand, and again, you wrap the excess here. Okay. Now it's time to remove the head tefillin. So I remove my kippah, take the head tefillin off, and put it into the tefillin box that is tefillin shel rosh, the tefillin of the head. Put that in, wrap it up. I've seen some Jewish men who have a particular tying method, and that's great. If you can do that, that's fantastic. I just wrap mine up because I find it just more convenient. I use it every day like this. So we put it back in the box, or back in the bag rather. Tefillin is very sacred, so you make sure you treat it with respect. And now you unravel you unwind, I should say, the strap from your hand. Remove the arm tefillin. And we're going to put this back in its box, which has written on there conveniently, Tefillin Shel Yad. So we know exactly which tefillin it's supposed to go in. Again, we just take this and we wrap it around the box. That's what I do. That's what a lot of people do. Wrap the box up. Takes a minute to do this because we've got a longer strap, of course. Again, we want to try, if we can, to prevent the strap from hitting the ground. And we put this back into the tefillin bag. And that's how we wrap tefillin. Now, one more thing about this. This has reminded me, as I was doing this, of a wonderful story I heard one time. A rabbi was observing a Jewish man at the Kotel in Jerusalem. And he observed him taking off his tefillin and putting it back into the tefillin bag. And chas v'shalom, as he was putting the tefillin into the bag, it inadvertently fell out of his hand and hit the ground. So the Jew quickly grabbed the tefillin up and dusted off the dust, kissed it, and put it back into the bag. The rabbi was sitting with his Talmudim, and he began to get teary-eyed. He said, "Do you see what just happened?" He said, "That's how HaShem treats us. Sometimes we slip and we fall and we hit the dirt. And he sweeps down, picks us up, dusts us off, kisses us, and puts us back in the place we belong. That's how God treats us, and that's how we should be remembered by him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a great and loving God." That's how we wrap tefillin. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's be sure and do it together wherever we are across the world.